All right, everyone, let's talk first about what we're going to cover in this class and how we're going to go about covering it. Now, I've divided this big topic of recording in live into three topics. So, we're going to start by talking about audio recording, and then we're going to move on to MIDI recording, and then we're going to talk about warping. So, audio recording is what most people think about when they think about recording, right? Especially when you're sitting in a studio in front of live and or any audio software and you think about recording, you're thinking about audio recording. And that means like my microphone is recording my voice right now, for example. Any acoustic sound in the world that we can capture and put into the software is audio recording. So, in order to do that, there's a good bit of hardware that we need to talk about as well that lives outside of live. So, we need to talk about an audio interface, microphones, where to put your microphones, and things like that. Primarily, we're going to be talking about how to deal with that sound in live. However, we are going to spend some time going over all of that hardware stuff as well. Then we're going to move on and talk about MIDI recording. Now, MIDI recording works a lot different than audio recording. That's like playing an instrument, a MIDI instrument, like a keyboard that you might have available, or like a push controller if you've worked with those before, and recording that data into live. In some respects, it's a lot easier to do MIDI recording, and in some respects, it's a lot more finicky. So it's a whole different kind of animal, but it is recording. It does also require a little bit of hardware, but not much, not as much as audio recording. And then the third kind of big topic we're going to work with is warping. Now, warping is the way that Ableton Live keeps everything in sync. So what that means is that if we have if we have two audio files of, let's say, drum beats, for example, and they're at different tempo, how does Live know to play them perfectly in sync with each other, right? An audio file is going to be hard to get to just play at the same speed, right? In the old days, we would do this we'd have two turntables and we'd slow one record down and get it to beat match with the other record, right? We have slightly better ways of doing, actually kind of wildly better ways of doing that in live, right? The computer can do a lot of that for us, do that beat matching for us, but knowing how it works will let us kind of craft it to help the computer to sound better, and also we can kind of manipulate those settings to do some cool sound design tricks. So it's very, very important element of live is warping. So we're going to spend the kind of last third of this class on warping. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive into audio recording.